Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Headbanger's Closet. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's your pal Brett here. Hope you guys are all getting ready for Christmas. It's just around the corner. This video, I want to talk about the band Ghost. I did a video on Ghost maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I posed the question to you guys, is Ghost a metal band or not? The video was on their first album, Opus Eponymous, which is very heavy doom metal, a lot of Black Sabbath kind of sounding influence on it. Great record. But like I said, I posed that comment to you guys, is Ghost a metal band or not? That's one of the, the talking points around the band that people have a lot nowadays. And you guys had a lot of opinions on that. I really appreciate your responses. It was one of the videos I've done that had the most comments on it. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, you guys had a lot of opinions on it, and Ghost is one of my favorite bands. You guys explained how you guys love Ghost as well. A lot of you guys did. So I was like, let's do another video on Ghost, because something happened at a show here in Atlanta that I really want to tell you guys a story about. So this will be kind of a story time episode that focuses on one of the albums that they were touring for during that show that I went to. So let's get right to it. The album was their third release, Meliora. As badass of a band as Ghost is, they always name their albums names I can barely pronounce. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But yeah, it's their third full-length record. Came out August 21st, 2015. It's a phenomenal album. The first one, Opus Eponymous, like I said, very heavy doom aspects to it. But Tobias, has mentioned before, he loves to mix that doom heavy metal style with 80s pop. And the second record had a lot of that on it. A little bit less doomy, heavy stuff and more of the pop type of aspects to it. Well, this album kind of goes back. It's got a lot of both of those, aspects as well. But to me, this is a lot heavier than the second one. The first single from the record, Circe, right away, another heavy, chugging, Black Sabbath sounding riff to it. Then you get songs like Mummy Dust, Majesty, which is super heavy, one of my favorite tunes on the record, one of my all-time favorite Ghost songs. Then you've got Absolution, so there's a lot more heavy, chugging guitar riffs on this one than there was one that came before it. So, and like I said in that first video, every album Ghost puts out, to me, is a little bit better sounding than the one before it. Taking nothing away from the ones before it. It's just that Tobias, maybe he's a little bit more experienced in the recording process, writing the songs, producing them, and whatnot. They just sound a little bit better, a little bit more polished and crisp than the ones before it. And like always, he infuses that heavy metal, doomy sound with the 80s pop. It was kind of relayed in an interview where it's Black Sabbath meets ABBA. So I thought that was really cool. That's one of the things I love about the band. It's not all heavy. There's a lot of synthesizer and piano and symphony stuff in these albums, which makes them great in my opinion. But this one right here is awesome. Like I said, came out August 21st, 2015. The what do you call it? The jacket and sleeve insert in this thing right here is badass. You get the upside down cross G Ghost logo, and each song gets its own artwork. There's the song Spirit, and there's the artwork to it. So each one, I'm not going to show you guys all of them. You kind of can get the gist. Here's the song He Is, and trying to show you guys, they have the guy and the girl. And if you're a fan of the band and you know the song and you've kind of read the lyrics, you kind of get the imagery on these stuff. This one's From the Pinnacle to the Pit, where there's the guy and then there's the angel kind of falling down to coming from the pinnacle all the way to the pit. So pretty cool. Picture of Papa Emeritus and the Nameless Ghouls, which is badass. That's kind of what they looked like. Especially the Nameless Ghouls, every time I saw him on that particular tour. The first two times, Papa looked like the Pope, and then the time I'm going to tell you the story about, he kind of took that hat off, and he was just like the priest. So here's my favorite one, Majesty. Like I said, if you know the tunes, you know the lyrics, you'll kind of get the imagery right there. So really, really cool. And then on the sleeve where the album comes in, you get a picture of the guys in the band right there, and then you get all the lyrics. Just like some of my other Ghost records, I picked them up off Revolver, which takes forever to get to you, but they're pretty cool. They do colored variants. This one's no different. Kind of based off the album cover artwork and colors. There's the Ghost label. This one's white with a shade of light blue, which you really can't see on the video. It kind of sucks, but it's there. Trust me. I recommend going to Revolver's website and seeing if they've got any more available, because really, really cool. And then I picked up the poster for Majesty, which is badass. It's basically Pop Emeritus, as you can see right there on top of the Empire State Building, like King Kong. And there are those, like, you know, World War I era planes trying to, like, take him out. And he's trying to swat him down. It's a really cool poster right there. I've had that for a while. So that brings me to the story I want to talk about. Saw him 3 times on this touring cycle. First 2 times were in clubs in Atlanta. The 3rd time was at the Shaky Knees Music Festival. Here's my wristband. I bought the 1-day pass for Friday because that's the day Ghost was playing and the Sword was going to play that day as well. And if you're not familiar with Shaky Knees Festival, it's kind of like an indie rock, alt rock festival in Atlanta. It's held at the Centennial Olympic Park, which is just outside of downtown Atlanta. Beautiful, huge, beautiful park. They have the big main stage there, and then right around the park, they have a handful of other smaller stages. And I went in that Friday, had the day pass, like I said, went in, parked, went right inside the Centennial Olympic Park. There was the main stage. That year, Jane's Addiction was headlining, but they had other bands like My Morning Jacket, Death Cab for Cutie at the drive-in. A lot of that style band. Fall Out Boy played 1 year. It's just that kind of stuff. I hate to say emo, but, like, you know, that kind of, like, lighter indie alt rock you would see that maybe a lot of, like, teenage kids might be into. So I made my way in there, grabbed a beer, and then I found out what stage the Sword and Ghost were going to play at. And I took the little scaffolding bridges over the streets to Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Atlanta Falcons play. And they had all the merch booths with t-shirts, and then the food and beer vendors right there, and then the 2 stages. Lucky for me, the Sword just came on one of the stages, so I was able to catch their entire set. Maybe about, I don't know, 50 yards from the stage. Got a really good vantage point, caught the Sword. And then the Ghost was going to play at the stage right next to it. So I made my way over there, grabbed another beer, and there was no band playing at the time. So I got right up to the rail, and then this band came out, and it was a 3-piece band. They sounded pretty good. Again, alt rock. They didn't sound too bad, just not my style. But then I noticed when they were setting up the backdrop for Ghost, which was that kick-ass Catholic church stained glass window imagery. It kind of looked like you were in the inside of a church. They were setting that up. I noticed the big crowd really started kind of filing in and kind of pushing closer. But one thing I noticed, they were all young teenage kids, like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. Not a whole lot of Ghost fans. I did kind of talk to a couple of Ghost fans that were there to see the band, kind of started chatting with them. A lot of kids tapping me on the shoulder. Hey, what's this band like? And I was like, you'll really like them. They're really good. Just check them out and see. So the band comes out, Nameless Ghouls, satanic necklaces, and then the satanic symbols on the guitars and bass. The keyboard player and the guitar player right in front of me, and the keyboard player had a big, like, upside-down cross on his keyboard. And I started to notice some edginess and apprehension, if you will, coming up over the kids in the crowd. And then Ghost starts playing. They come out, and it's Stand By Him, then Ritual, which are off the first record, and then they kind of go into a handful of songs off Meliora, which would be Circe and Absolution. They did play Year Zero from the second album. And then again, these kids are starting to hear some of the songs, the lyrics, and especially the stuff that Pop is saying in between songs. And then you can tell they're getting really, like, uncomfortable. And what really set him over the edge was, I believe it was right before they were going to play Mummy Dust, he starts talking about how great it's going to be to find your partner and your lover and give each other an orgasm, and how he can't wait to give everybody in the crowd an orgasm. And these kids start freaking out. No lie, saw one kid do the sign of the cross. A couple of the kids kind of put their hands up in the air and pray, like, we're sorry, Lord. And they're legit praying. And I'm like, what are these kids doing? Turns out a fairly famous local to the south Christian rock band was going to come out right after them, and they were real popular with some of these young, Christian Southern Baptist kids, and I was laughing. I was laughing. It was like, these kids have no idea what they just walked into, checking Ghost out before this Christian rock band. It was awesome. I had a blast. I asked one of these kids to get a photo of me with, turned around. I was right on the rail, got an awesome photo of me with the band playing behind me, and I was doing one of these, and they were just like shaking their head, like they didn't know what to make of it. I was surprised I didn't see any of these kids start to cry, but Ghost finished their set. Amazing set. They always sound so good playing live. If you hadn't seen them, definitely check them out. They're coming around most of the country with Volbeat, I think maybe like this winter. So if they're coming to your area, definitely check them out. You will not be disappointed. They're awesome. I laughed all the way, leaving that stage area, going back to the beer tent to get another beer. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. And it was one of my favorite Ghost shows because of that. They only played like about a 25, 30-minute set. A great set list, and I enjoyed the show just for that aspect. But the whole kids freaking out about it and the satanic stuff just pushed it over the edge for me. I had a blast. Hopefully you guys found that story as funny as I found that experience. So have you guys seen Ghost? Leave me a comment down below. Hit that like and subscribe if you don't mind. Been kind of laxing on getting a video to you guys each week. I apologize for that. I will start rolling them out here each week like I used to. But I appreciate all the support. So yeah, I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers.